Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Michelle Morius and I make art tutorials that are fun, easy, and accessible for everyone. So before we get into the video, please subscribe to my channel, leave a comment below. I subscribed, and I'll be sure to get back to each and every one of you. Today we're going to be doing this big green cat eye in colored pencils. I'm using Polychromos today, but you can use your Prismas or whatever color pencils that you might have. So I'm going in with my very light layers of my base, and I always like to pick a color that's a little bit brighter than what my finished product is going to look like. So in this case, I'm putting down my light yellow and my bright greens. And then I'm just kind of mapping in where my fur is going to be, and you want to make sure that you keep the direction of your pencil strokes in the direction of the fur. So I'm going in with the pupil, which is my darkest part of the drawing, and I'm just putting in a light layer of black, and then I'm going to put some blue in with that as well. I don't like to use straight black for the most case. I like to put a little bit of some other color in there to give it a little bit more depth. In this case, I'm using a little bit of blue. So I'm going in with my light layers of green and just mapping in a little bit more detail in the eye. Now in a cat's eye, there was all kinds of little bumps and nodules and things that I want to get in to give it some depth. So we're just trying to put some light layers of color down, and I'm going to keep going over with different colors to give it a little depth and make it look like a real glassy cat eye. So as you can see in the reference image, there's a lot of lumps and bumps and different colors going on. So I'm just trying to kind of represent that in my drawing. I'm going in right now with a little bit of solvent to just smooth things out, and then I'm going to go back over with more layers. And the beauty of using a little bit of solvent is that you can keep putting and adding more and more layers, and it gets rid of the graininess of the paper and the graininess of the pencil. Just smooths everything out beautifully and kind of melts all those colors together. But you do want to make sure that you let it dry just a little bit before you go back over with more pencil. So I'm going in with a little bit of fur around the eye now, making sure that I am going in the direction that the fur is going. And we're just gonna keep going with all of our different colors and adding more and more depth into the eye with more colors and darkening as we go. Now we're not burnishing anything at this stage. We're still just adding light layers, and we're just going to keep repeating the process until we get the desired effect, until we get a little bit farther along. Now you notice on the top of the eye that I keep darkening that top part, and that's because the eyelid comes over the eye, so the top of the eye is always going to be in a little bit of shadow. Same way with the human eye as well. Because the lid goes over, the eye top is going to be shadowed. So you want to pay attention to the length of your strokes here, because on a cat, obviously different parts of the cat, the fur is going to be longer and shorter. So I'm just paying attention to my pencil strokes and making sure that they are indicative of the length of fur that's on the actual drawing of the cat. Now there are many shades in cat's fur, so I'm trying to put down several shades to represent not every hair or every piece of fur, but just the general tone, and obviously still going in the same direction of the fur. So I'm getting down a good coat of pencil now. And then we're going to go in with a craft knife later on, and we're going to pull out some really fine hairs and things. And I'll do a tutorial on that in a second. I will leave a link in the description below of all the colors of the polychromos that I used today, as well as all my supplies. You can use the links below. They are affiliate links. I do make a small percentage if you buy anything from those links, but it is at no cost to you, and it does help support my channel. So thank you for that. Color pencils are really slow medium, and if you build it up gradually over many layers, the finished effect is going to be so much better. So you'll see, I just keep going in with all my different colors, and I'm just building on getting the base of this fur down. So basically just representing those colors. If you see a little orange, put a little orange down, which is what I'm doing. And I'm just making sure that there's a really good coat of pencil down on the paper. Now this is the reason why you work in layers, so that you can have all of those underneath layers showing through to the top layer. And this is going to be especially important when we go in with the craft knife. So if you've got a lighter layer underneath and then darker on top, when we go in with the craft knife, you're going to be picking out or scraping out some of that pencil, and the underlying layers are going to show through. So this is really important, and this is why you kind of build up slowly and tons of layers. And this way, when we pick it out, it's going to look great. So now that I have a really good coat of color pencil down on the paper, I'm going to go in with my craft knife, and I'm going to go pick out some little fine hairs and fur with the craft knife. Now, I would practice with this on a practice piece of paper before you go into your drawing, just to get the feel for, you don't want to be slicing, you just want to be kind of scraping a little bit, and you're just scraping off the top layer of wax. You're not really scraping down through the paper. So I'll show you how to do this. So I'm just going very lightly with the tip of the craft knife, and I'm using it a little bit on its side. I'm not using it straight down, so as not to slice through the paper. But it picks up that color pencil beautifully, and you can see those underneath lighter layers showing through. And it really gives a really fine fur texture or hair. You can use this on portraits as well in color pencil for the hair, and pull out little fine stray hairs and things. It's a really great technique. You can also pull out little highlights in an eye, or lighten something up ever so slightly if you need to, on any real part of the drawing. But it really gets a real furry texture look to it when you use this method. So I have gone in with my white Gelly Roll pen and popped out some highlights in the underneath part of the eye. An eye is always like a wet area, and it's always more realistic when you can pop that little highlight of white in to just give it the shine and that wetness. So here you see me going in with the craft knife on the actual piece here, and I'm just kind of refining everything and giving it that nice little furry fine texture, and it really does make the drawing stand out and pop. If you're enjoying my content and you like to see more videos, please subscribe to my channel, smash that like button, and leave me a comment below. I really love hearing from each and every one of you, and I do get back to all of you. And I want to thank you so much for joining me today, and happy art.